you've had a concert in the last 10 years where you didn't play All For You.
No.
You
And I
thought,
probably should say maybe to that kind of stuff because I can't remember what I did last weekend, much less what I did 10 years ago. But I can't imagine us playing a set and not playing All For You.
another Dooley Noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. Okay, welcome into another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Dooley Dome Gator Studios. We appreciate all of you for listening or watching, and certainly appreciate all of our great sponsors today. We're going to have a special guest, Drew Copeland from Sister Hazel is going to join us. I said that I beat him in the picks last time, but I didn't. I beat him the time before. We're basically even right now. So, but we're going to pick our playoff teams. We're going to have a little draft here. We'll try to, and we will play yes, no way, or maybe with him as well. So we got a lot of stuff to do with Drew. We look forward to talking to him always. And of course, Coach Spurrier will be here Monday. Thursday's guest for next week is still a little up in the air. I'm waiting for a word back on one thing, and then one way or another, we'll have people on. It is all right. Let's get to our Gainesville Quarterback Club. Starting five, and of course, the Gainesville Quarterback Club. Ernest Graham was unbelievable on Tuesday night. I got to tell you, he wrote out his speech, but it was such great writing. I went to him afterwards. I said, Ernest, you should have been in journalism, man. That was really good. But it was really good. The whole presentation was really good. Great stuff from him on Coach Spurrier too. This Tuesday night, it's Eric Wilbur and Allie Peak Wilbur. If you don't know Allie, we've had Allie on the show before. She has her own podcast. In fact, we may get her on again as football season gets going. And of course, Eric was an all-conference punter for Florida. They're going to be the speakers on Tuesday night at the Gainesville Quarterback Club. So if you want to join, very easy to do that. GainesvilleQuarterbackClub.org. All right, let's get to our starting five brought to you by the Gainesville Quarterback Club. And that is number one. The number one story right now is there's no more talking. I mean, I'm talking, but there's no more talking that really matters. It's time for football. I am nervous. I got to be honest with you. I can confess that I've been nervous before games. The most nervous I ever was before the second game of Florida's second national championship in basketball when they were playing Purdue, and I knew it was going to be a tough game, and I knew that Carl Landry was, and I remember going into the bathroom, I thought I was going to throw up because I knew that all the swoopers were going to come in and go, oh, Billy Donovan, he's back to normal, and I just was going to get nauseated by it. But Florida pulled it out thanks to Al Horford playing like a beast. And but that was probably the most nervous I ever was before a game. Heath Klein likes to tell this story, and I forget even saying it to him, but when Florida lost to Alabama in 99, before that game, I went to him and I said, streak ends today. Because Florida had a long home winning streak at SEC games. And I said, streak's ending today. He goes, what? I go, yeah, it's ending. I just have this feel. The difference is I have no feel for this game. The Florida-Miami game, none whatsoever. Most of the feelings I get are negative, to be honest with you, because that's the thing. You watch, all these people talking about things, and you look up stats and everything, and you kind of you go through a roller coaster when teams are pretty evenly matched, and they are, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But I think these are pretty evenly matched teams, and that's Miami's a 2.5-point favorite in the Swamp. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Florida's not given anybody a reason to, over the last 3 years, anybody a reason to get excited about it and think that they're going to win. So that's, like I've said, this is where we're going to find out what if all the bluster, and I don't want to say bluster. It hadn't really been bluster. It's been, and it hasn't really been bragging. It has been quiet confidence. If it all pays off. Jeff and I were talking about this on the radio yesterday, and he was talking about that Billy's really confident and players are confident. I'm like, yeah, that's what I heard last year, though. And that didn't work out. People that were close to Billy Napier were telling me before the Utah game that they were very confident going into that game. And I said, all right, they may be able to go out there and win. And I don't know if the hurricane knocked it out of them or whatever, but they weren't a confident team when they took the field. We know that. All right, so we'll see what happens. Let's go to number 2, which was on our Gainesville Quarterback Club starting 5, which was good news for the Gators. That not unexpected, but Montrell Johnson cleared to play. He's listed as a starting running back, and I love that running back room. It's a deep room, but it's a very inexperienced room other than Montrell Johnson. So I think they need him out there for a lot of reasons. But again, I truly believe he better be, I'm not saying 100%, but he better not be 70% because you're going to probably get hurt again. So I'm hoping that, I trust him on this kind of stuff. And especially Coach Napier, he's not going to put a guy out there that's hurt. But here's the thing, Montrell Johnson can make a difference in this game because he's that kind of player. And I think he was really looking forward, and it still is, to being the feature back. And he is going to be the feature back. So the good news, though, is when you look at the injury, the only guy that and again, I should have probably researched this and looked into it, but Keon Zipper was nowhere on the depth chart. Or maybe I missed it. I don't think I missed it, though. I looked at it pretty close. So I don't know. I guess maybe he hasn't recovered yet enough, but they didn't have an injury report on it on the depth chart they put out, which was they usually have done it under Billy, but we'll see. All right, let's go to number 3 on our Gainesville Quarterback Club starting 5. I want to talk a little bit about Miami, and I just want to tell you that on paper that is a very good team, one of the more talented teams in the country, to be honest with you, because they've killed it in the portal. They've done well in recruiting. Their NIL is great. And they've done really well. That Cam Ward's the quarterback and he is going to be a problem for Florida. However, and I think sometimes we get a little delusional in that we think that everybody's going to be Bo Nix coming in here. And Bo Nix, those of you who weren't around for that 2019 game, came in here as a true freshman starting in the swamp. And Gus Malzahn just was like, it's too loud for him to play. We couldn't do anything because the crowd was so loud. And I think it'll be that loud for this game, but it's got to stay loud. And but sometimes we just go, well, the game's in Gainesville. That's one reason I think Florida's going to win. But crowd's going to be good. But you have the helmets, with the earphones now. So we'll see how that all goes. But this is a good team. But a lot of people are saying Cam Moore's never played in an environment like this, and he hasn't. But we'll see how he handles it. But he's an experienced guy with a lot of talent. I think it was Bleacher Report put this list out, and they had the 7 best duos in college football, offensive talent, skill position guys. And one of them was Miami, and it was Xavier Restrepo and Damian Martinez, who they got from Oregon State. Restrepo, he's a problem, man. I watched him every game they played last year, rooting against them every time. But I watched every game, and he would just always come up with a big catch, and he's tough. And then Martinez was over 2,000 yards in 2 years at Oregon State. So, again, defenses aren't as tough there, but certainly he's a good player. They've got talent, man. When you look at their lineup, Reuben Bain, he's 7.5 sacks last year, and they've got a lot of guys back. They did lose a couple. Colby, gosh, I know I'm blanking out on his name. Colby, somebody anyway. I think I have it down here on my notes. Yeah, Colby Young went to Georgia, of course. That's a funny thing. They lost the biggest players they lost were Colby Young and Henry Parrish. One went to Georgia, went to Ole Miss. So they still get to play the Gators no matter what, which goes back to the whole schedule thing. Here's one thing to remember. They had 22 turnovers last year, which is a lot. Florida, I think, had 3 interceptions and not many. I don't remember how many Florida had, but it wasn't even close to that. They had 22 turnovers. And they lost a lot of games with numerous turnovers, 3 turnovers, some of them sometimes 4. The thing is, though, Tyler Van Dyke's not there anymore, and he was responsible for a lot of those. Of course, there was a famous fumble on when all they had to do was take a knee instead they handed it off and the guy fumbled. So I don't know if that's going to be the same issue. Look, teams are different. I don't know if it's going to be an issue for them. I will say this: if Florida gets 3 turnovers in this game, not only do I think Florida will win, but my perception of the Gators is going to be totally different, because that has been the thing I have bitched the most about, right? Not being able to get turnovers, 3 interceptions last year. This is what I'm preaching to all the Gator clubs. In fact, I got one tonight at the Clay County Gator Club over in Orange Park. Looking forward to going talking to them. But that's just what I'm going to tell them. Look, guys, they've got to be able to get turnovers. How do you? I've talked about this, I know, before on the podcast, but when you have a great offense, it's a lot of times it's because you gave them the ball on the 12-yard line a bunch of times, the other team's 12-yard line, or you scored. You know, you get 2 picks at a game. I think that was the Stoops' first game. I think they won like 45-20 or something like that, and they scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns on defense. So the offense played bad, and they scored 45. So people look at that and go, oh, Florida's got another great offense. Oh, no, it wasn't that great. They were struggling that year. But they got, obviously it worked out okay. They won the national championship that year. Anyway, turnovers, man. We need turnovers. All right, let's get to number 4. And that is that, I wanted to give a plug to Florida volleyball, because they start their season Friday night. They're out in Colorado. This is a weird trip to me because they're playing in Fort Collins and then Greeley and then Fort Collins again. But I know how it is out there. It's beautiful country out there, and it's a great trip. And I do believe in these kind of trips because they do help bond people together, bond teams together. This is why you take teams to Italy and Germany or whatever, to play basketball series. And this is kind of the formula Tim Walton's always used. Take his team out to LA, get them together where they have to be together all the time, play some quality opponents, and then come home. So we'll see what happens with them. But they play at 8:00. There is their opener, Northern Colorado, and then they also play. They play Colorado State tomorrow night, and then Northern Colorado Saturday, and Michigan State on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. Of course, the big thing is going to be how Stuckey is able to come back. And from what I'm hearing, it's going to be SEC season before she's back. You tear your ACL, it takes a year sometimes. So we'll see when she's be able to be effective. But I think that is if she's able to come back and be good, it ain't going to matter what Florida does during the game she's not there. It's going to be a matter what she does when she's there, because that'll increase her seed. I think you get my drift. All right, let's get to number 5 on the Gainesville Quarterback Club starting 5, and that is the NFL. There was a lot of course, cut day was Tuesday. The biggest name was probably Kadarius Toney getting cut. He dropped all those passes last year, and he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He's going to find another job. Somebody's going to pick him up. He's too dangerous not to be able to do that. I mean, just make him a punt returner or a kick returner. I know nobody runs back kicks, or they were doing it in the preseason. I don't think they're going to do it in the regular season. Whatever. I would get him on my squad, but we'll see where that ends up. His house is up for sale already in Kansas City. I feel bad. I love Kadarius Toney. I interviewed him after that Mississippi State game where he threw the touchdown pass, and the guy had to learn how to be a receiver, but I do like him a lot. He's a great guy, and I hope he does well. Some guys got cut but put on practice squads, which is good because the practice squads have expanded. Richard Garage is with the Bills. He's on their practice squad. Malik Davis with Dallas. Kingsley Aguaquin is with Denver on their practice squad. But you know who got cut? I know it's going to be a shock to you. This is going to be a hot take because I'm stunned by this. You know who got cut? Lamar Jackson. Wow, I was surprised to see that. Oh, it's a different Lamar Jackson. He plays cornerback for the Carolina Panthers, but not anymore. He's cut. And you know who else got cut? Emory Jones by Baltimore. Not a big surprise. He's still doing Emory Jones things. Make one great play, one bad play. He's just a smaller version of Anthony Richardson. That really is what he is. A guy who just struggles with the position sometimes, but does these spectacular things too. I mean, he's got the all-time record at the University of Florida for total yards in a game. It was against Stanford, but still happened. All right, that's going to do it for our Gainesville Quarterback Club starting five. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the great Drew Copeland. Look forward to talking to him, and we'll do our picks for the college football playoff. Of course, we have all of our other fun stuff coming up. I got a great Hugh Cain Mayhem moment for you as well coming up here. Hugh Cain Allstate Mayhem moment. Swamp games of the weekend. Hesser and Kipke, three things. Leo's quick picks. I got two good ones for you there. This, that, and the other. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Adam's Ribco, Gator of the Week. And we got a lot of stuff to cover. So let's get to it after we take this break on another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Gator fans, football season is here. What's better than seeing the Gators back on the field? Easy. Seeing amazing speakers and fellow Gator fans weekly at the Gainesville Quarterback Club. Held every Tuesday night of a home game at the Best Western Gateway Grand. Enjoy happy hour, great food, valuable insights from yours truly and Andy Staples, plus notable speakers throughout the season. As the oldest Gator booster club in the world, Gainesville Quarterback Club gives you access to elite speakers like coaches, NCAA football insiders, Gator greats, and more. Share your passion for Gator football with hundreds of other members at weekly in-season meetings, home tailgates, and special events throughout the year. Join the Gainesville Quarterback Club today. Email the club at membership@quarterbackclub.org or visit thequarterbackclub.org. Or better yet, just give me a call and I'll get you to the right people.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Spite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It's a great pleasure to bring on my good friend Drew Copeland from Sister Hazel, who beat me on the last pick of the picks. I think I was telling people that I had won, but I had won the year before. I think I get confused sometimes.
You actually smoked me the year before, like it wasn't even close. Yeah.
But so today we're going to do our picks in just a minute, where we're each going to pick 12 teams. We're going to have a draft for the playoffs, and whoever ends up with the most that make the playoff will be the winner, and we'll win free lunch if ever we see each other again.
I know. You know, we used to threaten to play golf together, and then I think we finally gave up on that because we never have enough time. But yeah. Well,
now that you've moved out to the sticks, you know, it's kind of hard to get you around, you know, to get you to come into the big city.
That's right.
If you want to come in and for some vittles, you know,
it's like 7 minutes, man. I'm not driving all that way.
I'll come see you. How about that?
All right.
Before we get to our picks, we're going to play Yes, No, Where, or Maybe with you, which we always do with our guest here on the Big Mills Cheesesteaks Zoom line. Yes, No, Where, or Maybe, 3 questions for you, Drew Copeland. And it is brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteak for street dining done the right way. If you go in there and say you listened to the podcast or watched it, you can get free fries with your order. All right, Yes, No, Where, or Maybe. Number 1, Drew, you've had a concert in the last 10 years where you didn't play All For You.
No. And I probably should say maybe to that kind of stuff because I can't remember what I did last weekend, much less what I did 10 years ago. But I can't imagine us playing a set and not playing All For You. Yeah.
You get booed off the stage at that point.
Probably. I'll tell you, man, that song is, I told Ken the other day, literally, like within the last month, it amazes me. I mean, we're talking, 30 years, almost 30 years for the song on the radio, but and still like it's one of those moments where the crowd like comes to the stage and like everybody is singing back, and it's just it's a pretty special stinking song. Yeah, it really is.
No, I saw something the other day that somebody did. I can't remember where I saw it, but it was the top 20 Southern rock bands of all time, and you guys are number 19. And I'm
Really?
like, I don't really think of them as a rock band. They do rock songs.
I'm thankful for that. I'm
Huh?
thankful for that because really our live show, when people ask us like what are you? Well, yeah, man, our biggest song was kind of a pop song, but really our live show is kind of a Southern rock thing with Ryan's guitar playing and plays a lot of slide and stuff like that. Yeah, man, I'm thankful to hear it. Thanks for telling me that.
Okay.
If I hear that, then they had the top 100 anything and y'all weren't in it.
Yeah, I just saw the top 100 groups of all time, and they others receiving votes.
Yeah, and y'all weren't in that either.
Oh man! All right, let's get to number 2. And yes, no way, or maybe with Drew Copeland, and that is that your golf game has deteriorated as much as mine has in the last 10 years.
Well, now I haven't seen yours lately, but yes, to mine is bad. I just played in the charity tournament. In fact, me, Ken, and Barris played in one up in DC. We actually played the TPC out at Avenel Farms.
Yeah.
And that course is amazing, but the rough is insane. But no, my game is still as stinky as it's ever been, and probably worse. Yes.
Well, we do need to go play. We need to get some time and go play.
I would like to, because I do enjoy the game. Thankfully, I'm not dumb enough to like get mad that I'm not shooting in the low 80s. I just enjoy the game. So yeah.
I have an opening for a 4th at the for the Stop Children's Cancer Tournament. I'll get back to you on that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Do that.
Okay. All right. And finally, number 3 on Yes, No Way, or Maybe with Drew Copeland. Drew, Gainesville High has started with a win this year. Ian Scott is over there. Ernest Graham's his offensive coordinator. This is when your alma mater turns it around.
Yes.
So
it is.
Both your alma maters need to turn it around.
Yeah, no kidding. But I will say, man, the kids needed a win for confidence because I can't imagine where their minds are over there right now because they've gone through a pretty horrible stretch. But Ian's a really smart guy. And I don't know what kind of motivator is because he's never coached me, but I know he's very smart, and I think they've got those kids playing for each other. And yeah, man, I think that they're gonna. I'm not saying they're gonna make it to the state playoffs or anything, but I think that they'll have a good season.
It'll be better. We know that.
It'll be better. Yeah. Well, we know it's already better because they won.
That's right. But no, I think Ian's going to do a good job over there, and I think he's. I think all these different people that enlist these former Gator players to be assistant coaches are really smart. I mean, Travis McGriff did a great job, as an offensive coordinator. I think he's now at Buchholz, so he went over to Buchholz.
So, yeah.
Mike Nattiel's a coach. Big money's coaching Williston's defensive line.
And wasn't Ingram out in Hawthorne?
Oh, yeah, he's still there, yeah.
Yeah.
So why, when you do that, it shows up as a thumbs up on the screen? Look.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? I don't know what that's crazy.
That's weird.
That's weird.
All right, we're gonna do our picks now for the college football playoff, and I'll let you decide whether you want to go first or like we're gonna do it like this. Whoever goes first picks a team, and then the next guy picks 2, next guy picks 2, next guy picks 2, next guy picks 2.
Yeah, and I got to think about the strategy on this because the obvious, like, do we pick the obvious ones first or do we pick the dark horses first?
That's your call. What I did was I made a list of 24 teams that I want to pick.
When we talked about this, I don't think you ever sent me a breakdown of what we were doing. So this is
No,
hitting
I
me
didn't.
like out of the blue. Yeah.
I'm trying to take advantage of you right here. is what
And
I'm
you're
doing.
winning at that. All right. So I'll pick, I pick one right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Georgia.
Okay. They're all yours. See, I think they'll make the playoffs. I think that's kind of a lock.
Right.
Schedule. They got to go to Ole Miss. They got to go to Texas. They got to go to Alabama. So I still think they'll make the playoffs.
Right. I agree. And that's what we're picking, right? Is who's going to make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
It's just who.
Okay.
Okay. My two picks are going to be Texas and Ohio State. I think Texas is going to win it all this year.
Good. I'm glad that we got that bet at the end of the year. that feels good already. Okay.
Feel like you've already won.
All right. So my two are going to be. I'm going to go like with some people that I'm going to say Oregon.
Oh man, I see Oregon was going to be my next one.
I'm going to say Oregon, and I'm going to say, well, Alabama.
See, I think they'll be in the playoff too. Those are good picks. Those are good picks. I got to be honest with you. All right. Here's who I'm going to take. I'm going to go all SEC here, and I'm going to go Missouri, and I'm going to go Ole Miss, Ole Mississippi.
Missouri, really?
Oh, I think Ole Miss is going to be really good.
No, Missouri.
Missouri's good schedule is so easy. They don't play anybody in the conference, and I think they'll sneak in there at like 10-2 or something like that. And they got a good team. They got a good team as well.
Okay.
By the way, if you really were a Southern Rock band, why didn't you ever have the Confederate flag up behind your? I just thought about that.
That's not controversial at all. Let's do that. That's a good
Let's
idea.
do it now. We're bringing it back.
All right, I'm going Florida because that's what I do.
On my list. I have them on my list.
Okay, I'm going Florida, and I'm going with LSU.
LSU's an X factor team, man. I have no clue what they're going to do.
Me either.
They're good. I'm still not sure how good they are. All right, I'm going to make my surprise pick right here because one thing about the new playoff is the 5 highest ranked conference champions go, and I'm taking Liberty. I think Liberty's going to be in that mix, and they're going to sneak in.
Wow.
So
that is a surprise. It's
a surprise pick, and then I'm going to take Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. Whoa, Nelly! And now A&M's going to beat them on Saturday night. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that. All right, so my surprise pick. And by the way, you're going to have to email me these picks, my picks.
I'm writing them down. I'm not
going to remember. So my
you picked Buchholz.
Well, that's funny you say that because my surprise pick is Oak Hall, with their running back Briggs Copeland. They make the 12-team college playoff. Yeah.
Dude, I drove by there the other day and I had no idea they had turned it into like a gated community. Oak Hall.
Oh yeah. When all they had that in plans forever because it's just security at the schools and stuff, man. It's just insane. Like that whole thing is scary. But
so is he going to start at running back?
In the college playoff?
No, is he going to start?
Oh, he does. He does now. He has. This is his senior year. He started every year. Yeah, he plays both ways. He doesn't come off the field. They don't have enough players to have anybody on the bench, basically.
Oh.
So no, he plays both ways. All right, so
I'll put Oak Hall down if you want me
to. Let's see. I'm gonna go with that's the other thing too, man, is I don't follow the other conferences enough to make really great. That's why that was a good pick because how about USC?
Yeah. And now they'll lose to LSU. So
Right. Well, and I picked LSU. So
one of them's got to lose. There
right.
are no ties.
And do I have to pick another one? I've got to pick
Yeah.
another one.
Trying to look and see who I have eliminated already. Missouri, man. Oh yeah, that would be a good pick.
Which one? Tell me. Which one is it? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Who
Well, think about the Big 12 and who you think's going to win that.
Oh.
Because they get in. Whoever wins that.
Is it? What about Michigan? I mean, has Michigan been picked yet?
They're all yours.
All right.
Look, if you can overcome Harbaugh getting suspended twice, you can overcome anything. You know.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take Utah. I was trying to bait you into taking them, but now they're in the Big 12. I'm going to take Utah, and I'm going to take Penn State.
So how many teams are in the Big 12?
43, I think it is. Yeah. And
love that.
I can't wait for their tournament. You know, their baseball tournament.
I love that stuff, man. The Big 10 has 4, and the Big 12 has 17. All right. So you picked Utah. You got another one, right?
Utah and Penn State. Yeah.
Utah and Penn State.
I'm not confident in that Penn State pick, though.
Right.
I mean, I think Drew Aller's going to have a better year, but I just don't have confidence in James Franklin winning the big games.
Oh. No, never mind. I forgot.
Who?
I was gonna say, and I'm sorry to seem so happy, but I was gonna say Florida State, but I forgot they already lost to Georgia Tech, right?
Well, you can still pick them.
Yeah, I could, but I won't do that. And then Miami's gonna lose on Saturday.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yes, they will. They will fall to the mighty Gators on Saturday.
Will you be at the game?
I will. I get to go to the game. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm really excited. I was supposed to be in California, and that got moved, and so I was like, okay, so I'm gonna go to the game.
Wow, cool.
All right, let me think. Another school.
I've got I'm just looking at who I'm talking about, but
How about TCU?
TCU. Oh yeah, I got them written down here as one of my teams. So TCU, and you got one more.
I'm running out of teams, bro.
4, 5, 6. We only have to do this for 4 more picks.
Oh my Lord. Okay. And you got Notre Dame, right? You picked Notre Dame?
I got Notre Dame, yeah. You got to be thinking about it because you don't think about it in terms of who I think could win it. Will you get in?
Right. That's the whole thing is will you get in?
Yeah. So you can look at the Big 12. The Big 12.
How many SEC teams do we have in right now?
Right now we have Missouri, Ole Miss, LSU, Georgia, Alabama,
And Florida.
and Florida. Yeah.
So right now we've got half of the
Nobody's picked Tennessee. Nobody's picked anybody.
Yeah, but you can't even 6 teams from the SEC probably isn't realistic, right?
It's going to be hard because people beat each other up.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's
Yeah.
why you look at these other leagues and see
Well, like the Big 12 is the one I think everybody's going to look at. And Utah was picked to win it in the preseason, but I mean, who knows? Cam Rising's back.
yeah.
Year.
All right, what about Washington?
New coach, lost a lot in the portal, but there's a lot of people think they're going to be fine.
Okay.
New league, everything. All right, Washington. Okay. All right, I'm going to take this is a couple of dark horses, NC State and SMU. Now, the reason I'm taking SMU, even though they almost beat by Nevada in their first game, is because I still think they have a lot of firepower and they have the ability to win. Once you kind of win that game, it's almost like when Florida won the Mike Miller shot game.
Yeah.
Kind of I think that's going to propel them. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Did you do 2 just then or just 1?
NC State and SMU.
Okay, I'm going Clemson.
Ooh, that's a good pick. Now, when they get killed by Georgia, I don't want you calling crying, trying to take it back.
And I'm going to go Clemson, and I'm going to go Kansas.
Oh, I had them written down. You're thinking, you're doing a good job here. I gotta be honest with you.
I'm surprised.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
By the way, that's how my wife sounds when I do something good around the house. She's like, you did something good. Like you did something good.
I get that. You did a good job cleaning the kitchen up. That's really good for you.
Hey,
Yeah.
look, you didn't leave your mess.
I barely had to go back behind you. Yeah. I get that a lot.
I just use paper products, so that way I don't have.
We try to do that too. Okay, a couple of dark horses for me: NC State and Iowa.
Wait, I thought you did NC State last round.
No, I don't. Oh, I did. God dang it!
Look at me paying attention. I'm so proud of me.
I'm proud of you too. I'm surprised. I'm running out of teams, but I'm going to go with Oklahoma State instead.
Okay.
So I think you only have one pick left, right?
All right. I'm going to go with Arizona.
Arizona. Give me your windy, baby. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's a good song. Mark Lindsay.
Oh,
Fear in the Raiders.
all right.
So you never listen to music. I'll call you up and I'll go, hey, you ought to hear this new Susanna Hoffs album where she covers all these things. You go, I don't listen to music.
I don't listen to music, man.
Why?
In fact, now even when I'm mowing, I just put in my noise canceling stuff and I don't listen to anything.
I listen to Sister Hazel songs.
That's ridiculous.
Which is the same. All right, before we let you go, Drew, your feelings about this season coming up and how you think the Gators are going to do without wearing your orange and blue glasses. Just give me your honest assessment.
Could you slam the door a little louder next time? I'm going to say we're going to have a winning season. How about that? We will have a winning season. And with our schedule, that's going to be tough to do. And I think it'll be an impressive enough showing to build hopes for the following season. I think things are falling into place. I do think we're better than what a lot of the talking heads are saying we are. I know some people are like going completely off the map with how good we are. I'm not quite there. I'd like to think that. I'll tell you this, man. Mertz, that guy's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
He was last year, and I have been out to several practices, not since fall camp started, but that guy's got a great throwing motion. He stays real calm in the pocket and makes good decisions. And I like him as our quarterback. If our trenches are good as what people are claiming, then we've got an opportunity for sure.
And that's gonna be the thing. I mean, Miami has done well in recruiting and the portal and building both the lines of scrimmage.
Right.
So see, in Florida feels like they've done a good job. We'll see. That's the thing. They were talking about you have to have faith and all this. Scott Whitaker was at the quarterback club the other night, and he was talking about faith, and I was just like, I have no faith. I mean, I just don't have any faith. And why would I have faith in a team that's had 3 straight losing seasons? Now, I think they're going to be a lot better, and I'm trying to find a path to 7 wins. Is what I'm saying. Because if 7 and 5, and everybody's going to be pretty happy.
That was the number. I wanted to just say winning season, but that was what I was thinking. 7.
Yeah.
I don't want to just have 6 wins and make it into the bowl season. I'd like to have 7 wins, and then we can talk. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And that'll kind of change that dynamic in recruiting. But if they can get to 8, that's just even better. So we'll see. Look, I have no idea what's going to happen this year. I have no idea what's going to happen at LSU. I have no idea what's going to happen at Clemson. I am fired up for this season because it's all X factors out there. I know Georgia's going to be really good, but their schedule's really tough for once.
Right.
I know I know Ohio State's bought the best team money can buy, which used to be an insult, now is a compliment.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So
Alabama's going to be good just because they would have had to lose everybody to not
yeah,
still have
exactly.
a boatload of talent.
Yeah, I had Alabama listed third on my list. So
I'll tell you this too. The thing I like about the Miami game, and I hope that there aren't any players that see this, but it's not a make or break game. I mean, yes, it would set the tone and be a great thing to win that game, but it doesn't really mean anything to the season. But it'll be a great test.
but it'll be great overreactions.
I know. Yeah, of course. Well, if we get blown out, I think that the overreactions may be worth a discussion. But if we lose a close game
On
on the
last
first
second field goal,
yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, everything will be fine as long as we make improvements. And really, that's really what this season needs to be is a lot of improvements. And if we can win 7 games, I'll be like, all right, man, you're going to get another year, which he's going to get another year anyway. But
I think he is, yeah. But again, he could lay a giant egg, and then you have to go, and maybe this isn't working. Maybe he's done everything so good, except he can't translate it to the field. So they go 5-7 or 4-8. That's a tough call. At that
and what stinks is that schedule is so hard. It's like that's not impossible that could happen.
You do know that the schedule came out months and months and months ago, because it's amazing to me that all these talking heads are just now realizing what Florida's schedule looks like.
Right.
And they're all, Florida's schedule is so tough, and I'm like, it was tough a month ago.
Right. Yeah, I remember seeing it and going, that can't be possible. But that's going to be it's going to be a gauntlet for sure the whole season. But that's what man. That's what these kids came to Florida to play for. So it's a good thing.
They don't want to play in these crappy games. They really don't. The Sanford games and stuff. I mean, you got to play some of them, but they want to play against big games against good teams.
Yeah, that are on national television. That's what they want. And I will say too, I hope that whatever committees there are in the world, I hope they continue to take a look at the teams like what you're saying as far as Missouri. You said Missouri doesn't have a very tough schedule. Yeah. Well, I hope they look at that. You know what I mean?
I think they will. I think, for in other words, 9-3 would get Florida into the playoffs. 9-3, Missouri's got no chance.
Okay, good.
That's the difference in their schedules. Yeah,
I think that's fair. Yeah. So, all right, man. Thanks for having me on.
We'll let you go. We'll be back with more of another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios right after this break.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured.
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
And our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Adams Rib Company has been a staple of Gainesville for more than a decade and a staple of the Dooley house ever since Kelsey's teeth came in. The first time I walked into Adams, I told my daughter that the green beans are always a test of a great barbecue restaurant, and they were perfect. You know about the ribs that melt in your mouth, and my favorite, the turkey plate. But be sure to go in on Fridays for Nana's Fish Nuggets. They will melt in your mouth. Adams Rib Co., a Gainesville great. Another duly noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Celebration Point. You can watch and listen to us on Facebook and YouTube for every podcast that we do on Mondays and Fridays at 2 o'clock. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, any of the other 39 platforms where you can find this podcast or your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below or call me if you want to do some advertising at 352-317-3444. Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. So great to talk to Drew. I mean, we don't see each other very much anymore because he's moved out to Jonesville area, out in that area, I think, and has a big, some acreage out there. But and I don't get out that much anymore, but we do need to play golf once it cools down. There's no doubt about it. And go out to lunch but I do love talking to him and love getting him to his take on, and like a lot of people will say, well, no, Sister Hazel's kind of an old band and they're not that big a deal anymore. He's a friend of mine and he really knows football. I mean, those are the kind of people you bring on your show, right? And it's my show, so I get to do it. All right, let's get to our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. And of course, Hesser and Kipke is a Gainesville firm here for your needs in family law or workers' compensation. Call or text Ken and Jennifer 24/7 at 352-339-9920. Hesser and Kipke, nearly 50 years of combined legal experience and about to celebrate the 5th anniversary in January. Hesser and Kipke, we appreciate them. Let's get to our 3 things with them. Number 1, story came out, I guess it was USA Today and the Knight Foundation or Knight Commission. And they looked at all the money that's being contributed by donors, boosters, donors, whatever you want to call them. And this goes through the end of 2022. And Florida was 4th in the country. Everybody keeps talking about Florida isn't getting any money, they aren't getting enough money, blah, blah, blah. And look, I'll get to that point in a minute. The number was $763 million that were contributed. So that is pretty good. The thing is, though, not all of those, most of those are not contributed for NIL. You still have to raise money in other ways for the stadium refurbishing, the baseball stadium, all that stuff. Gary Condon is was listed as the biggest donations. I think it was 22.5 million total. And of course, baseball stadium's named after him for a reason. So that is interesting, though, just to think about that there's still plenty of money coming into Florida. You're about to get more money once all these things settle in. There's money. The money's there. Look what Florida spent on all the things for Billy Napier. Now, are they necessary? Probably. Do you have to have them? No. There's teams that are able to win games without having a Taj Mahal and an indoor practice facility, but they're important, and they have them everywhere else. If they have them at every SEC school, you better have this SEC school. But I think the question that when you see this story is everybody goes, well, hey, that's plenty of NIL money. Well, that's not NIL money. That's donations. Some of them are done in different ways, and some of them are just done for academic scholarships. So anyway, there is money there, though. We knew none of that. All right, number 2 on Hesser and Kipke's 3 things. I thought this was an interesting story. Malik Neighbors is going to wear number 1 for the Giants. Yes, for a second there, I forgot. Okay, for the Giants, Malik Neighbors is a really good player. He wore number 8, I think, in college, and I think, or maybe number 9. Whoever it was, whatever number he wore, they've got a guy who's got that number. I think Daniel Jones has that number. But anyway, so he's going to wear number 1, and he got the family of Ray Flaherty, who you probably never heard of, nor have I. Heard the name Flaherty many times, but it's usually baseball. Anyway, his family, he's the late Ray Flaherty. He was the first player in the NFL to have his jersey retired. And Hall of Famer, 76, I think he went in the Hall of Fame. So they said, yeah, we'll let you wear it. We'll look at it as you're honoring him. And he is saying that. Now, I will say this. Malik Neighbors had his issues at LSU. Straighten up and fly right there, young man, because this is a great opportunity for you. Sometimes people don't realize what a great opportunity it is, but I have no problem with Malik Neighbors straightening everything out and doing great things. And this thing maybe is a first indication it's on the way. Finally, number 3 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. Numbers came out about they're trying to get rid of the spring transfer portal. The commission that studies the rules and everything has recommended this. They'll vote on it, I think, in October. Maybe, yeah, I think it's October. But they're trying to get rid of that, so it limits it to just that 130-day, right after the conference championship games, 130-day period where you can get in the portal. Now it's still rough for these coaches who have to try to recruit guys while they're in the playoff. And the guys that are in the playoff have the best chances of getting them, right? So I don't know. Look, we all know college football's a mess right now. We don't know the rules, what's going on here. But I think cutting that spring portal will be a good idea. But who knows when a guy files suit against you and says, "Hey, you're restricting my freedom. Now you're employees. We can restrict your freedom." Well, we're not employees technically. Well, but you are. We're paying you. College football, it's idiot proof, but boy, it is a struggle. Luckily, Saturday, well, tonight, actually. Tonight, there's a game tomorrow, but it's not a good. Saturday, I'm not going to talk about NIL or portal or anything else anymore. Well, I may mention the portal if a guy came from the portal. All right, that is our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. Let's get our Adams Rib Company Gator of the Week. Appreciate Adam, who, of course, we were talking about in Gainesville High. He's very involved in that program as well. And, of course, does so many great things, including being the lunch sponsor of the Bob Dooley Invitational. Number 30 coming up, if we have it. All right. Our Adams Ribco Gator of the Week. I know I've mentioned him 100 times on this show, but I'm doing it again with Wyatt Langford. And the reason I'm making it Wyatt Langford is it's so much fun to go through the steps of watching him become a good major league player. Now, again, he struggled a lot early. But then he gets his first homer. It's an inside the park homer. And we're all excited about that because, yeah, we told you that guy can really run. Then he hits his first real homer that goes over the fence. Then he hits last night a 408-foot bomb, 3-run homer that was huge in their win. They won 4-3, but he hit the homer that put him in the lead. So Wyatt Langford is our Adams Ribco Gator of the Week, and appreciate Adam, but boy, I appreciate Wyatt Langford too, man. I miss that guy, but it's so much fun to have people to watch, and that we've got so many more of them in baseball now. It used to be where like there might be 2. Now there's like they're everywhere. Singer's having a big year. Obviously Langford, well, what he's doing, Cags is going to eventually get up there. There's plenty of them. They're all over the place, and that's great stuff. All right, let us move along to our Leonardo's at Millhopper Quick Picks. And Todd, if you're listening, tomorrow, which is Friday, I will get your Leonardo's at Millhopper Quick Pick prize. I know that I have he wanted a copy of the Patrick Young book, and I said, I think I have one around here that's signed. So I'll get that, and then I'll get $25 at Leonardo's as well. Nothing like that pizza, but you might want to get a Dooley, because a Dooley is a Parmesan sandwich, and it is chicken parm sandwich, and it is unbelievable. I order it every time I go in. I don't even have to order it anymore. I just sit down. They put a beer in front of me, put a sandwich in front of me. It's like when I used to go to PJ O'Reilly's back in the old days, and I'd walk in. There'd be a vodka and cranberry waiting for me on the bar. Yay! All right, so I got 2 interesting ones for you today. All right, 2 interesting ones. This is good. I think they're not going to be easy. And of course, some of you are going to qualify tonight with the games that are being played tonight. All right. Yes or no? This is just a yes or no question. DJ Lagway scores a touchdown. It's interesting because they get down to the 1-yard line. They may bring him in, say, you just run the ball. You're bigger and stronger, and we don't want to get our other quarterback hurt. Or he could get in late in the game and go on a scramble. There's no right answer here. It's just yes or no. You're just picking. And then Miami -2.5 against Florida. That's simple. At Florida. Just in case you didn't know, it's at Florida. All right. So those are 2 they're pretty simple. All you got to do is go yes, Miami, or no, Florida, or yes, Florida, or no, Miami. That's all you got to write down. All right. let us move along to our swamp games of the weekend. And there is so much on this weekend. Oh, I'm going to be in heaven. I'm going to be in heaven. The only thing I'm missing is the NFL, but we have a great Sunday night game, of course, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I did want to make sure I mentioned Saturday on Fox, Atlanta at Philadelphia at 7:45. We've cut it to 5 games. That's going to be this is our chance right here to get into. If you want to win the division, this is your chance. And last time they played Philadelphia, they did pretty well. So we'll see how they do there. And of course, Philly's been struggling. Lost 10-0 last night. And then Sunday, it's also on ESPN. It's a Sunday night game at 7:00. So I got a great. It's almost like TBS and rediscovered the Braves, and I get to watch Braves games all weekend. So we got that. You got the Tour Championship, which is either on. If you watch early, it's on Golf Channel. You got it late on NBC. We've got all kinds of stuff. Women's basketball going on, WNBA. But this is about college football. It's a college football weekend, right? Saturday. Best game, I think, is going to be Clemson, Georgia. I think Georgia will roll because Georgia, I can't get my mind away from that Oregon game 2 years ago. You know what I mean? I think the scores, I looked this up, the scores of their last 2 opening games are 49-3 and 48-7, I think. And it was Oregon, but then it was like Toledo or something. I can't remember who it was. But still, they're ready to play in the opener. And that says a lot about Kirby. What a good coach he is. So anyway, that's at noon and it's on ABC. So that'll be on one TV. All right. The second TV will have, which I think is a sleeper good game. Penn State at West Virginia. West Virginia had Neil Brown was going to get fired, and then he wins 10 games last year. West Virginia, of course, they feel like they've got a pretty good team this year. And Penn State with Drew Aller, we talked about him. I don't know how good they're going to be, but hey, you're playing at West Virginia. They don't like you. You don't like them. Let's go. Let's go watch that. That'll be on the second TV. That one may have the sound on. I got to wait and see who's doing the other game, the Clemson, Georgia game. Of course, Florida plays at 3:30. You know that on ABC as well against Miami. Virginia Tech plays Vanderbilt at noon too on ESPN. So that could be a 3 TV deal there. And then of course the night game tomorrow night is the Notre Dame A&M game, 7:30 on ABC, and then Sunday LSU and USC playing in Vegas, 7:30 on ABC. Yeah, they got all those games. Man, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. It's just going to be so much fun. All right. Those are our swamp games of the weekend, and that's the place to go to watch them, man. You can watch multiple games. We'll be out there Thursday. I wasn't able to make it tonight. I'm not able to make it tonight. Zach Albaverdi is going to sit in for me because I'm speaking of the Orange Park Club. But I'll be there next Thursday, and if you want to come out and say hi, it'd be great to see you. We'll be out there 4 to 6 on the tailgate every home game Thursday, and then we're at the Hilton on Friday home game. So come out there, say hello to us, and we're at Hawkstone at 2 on Tuesdays on the tailgate, and we had a couple people come out and talk to us out there. It was good. It was nice seeing. We had a good time out there. All right, let's get to our this, that, and the other. Brought to you by Ironwood Golf Course, by of course our good friends at Shakow Insurance, and by Ballyhoo Grill. Go in there and get some. I tell you, I think they may have the best wings in town. I don't know. It's close. There's a couple others I could make. Sandy's Place, Dockside, Ballyhoo. I think that. I'm not saying that's the order. I'm just saying that I think those are the 3 best. Sandy's Place are decadent, man. I go and eat those, and I feel like I can't exercise enough to get all this weight off of me. But I still enjoy them. I love them. I get them once a year. There'll be one game where Karen will be out of town or something, and I just go, let's go get Sandy's wings, bring them home, watch football, drip grease all over the place. Hey, yeah, it's great to be married to me. All right, let's get to our this, that, and the other. And the this is when Naquan Wright was here, I I really liked him as a player. I mean, I remember that they ran a couple of those wheel routes to him against Georgia when they beat him in 2020. He was really good. He ran the ball really hard. I mean, but again, he was in a very crowded backfield with Damian Pierce and Malik Davis. So he didn't play a lot, but then when Billy came, he hardly played. He really didn't play much at all that first year of Billy Napier. And again, a lot of that was because you had two really good running backs. So they had to, they just didn't have room for him. I get that. And he needed to find a new place to go. So he went to USF. So he goes, he goes to USF. He's already got his degree from Florida. That is the way to do it in the portal. Get your degree from the school that you want to put up on your wall, and then go play wherever somebody wants you to play, and will give you a lot of opportunities. And he's doing really well at USF. He's played really well. So that is the other. He is getting ready to start his 6th year of football. Good for him, though. I mean, again, he gets to take advantage of the COVID year and a redshirt year, I'm sure. But we're about at the end of the 6-year, guys, but it's fine. I have no problem with it. A lot of us would have stayed in school for 10 years if we could have. But he's already got his degree, and I hope he does well. I really do. It's not one of those guys where he left and I'm like, oh, I hope he gets hurt. Of course not. I never think that about anybody. But anyway, that's the this, that, and the other for today, brought to you by Ironwood, by Ballyhoo Grill, and by Darshakal Insurance. Let's wrap it up with our Hugh Cain Allstate Mayhem moment.
The Gator Nation is in good hands with local Allstate agent Hugh Cain. Stop by Alachua Marketplace Plaza in Alachua and get a free quote today.
Okay, this was a play you don't see a lot, and I got this off Twitter, so but it was an 8-6-2-3-2-5-4 double play. Now, I wouldn't have even written it down on my scorecard. I would just gone double play. The ball gets over the head. This is, of course, Yankees and Nationals last night. And guy gets caught up. 2 guys are on the same base. Oh, that's a mess. Now they're throwing down there. Now they got 2 guys caught up on the same base. Now they're going to throw there and there. This is a mayhem moment. You got to say that. That guy's out. So there's 1 out. Now we got this guy. No, but we're going to get this guy. Nice base running, Nationals. Anyway, that is a pretty good mayhem moment right there. It made me laugh. If it made me laugh, it must be funny. That's the way I always say things. All right, we appreciate everybody for being part of this show, especially Zach, who does a tremendous job as a producer. Appreciate Drew for coming on. Don't forget Monday, Coach Spurgeon will be back in. I was actually at the restaurant last night. It's funny because my daughter was looking at the menu. She goes, "Hey, Dad, I thought you came up with this, that, and the other." I go, "No, I took it from Steve. He's all talks that way, but it's on the menu, this, that, and the other." So I can't remember what it is. I think it's like crab and some kind of seafood dish. Anyway, all right, that's going to do it for the show. Again, thanks to Zach. Thanks to Drew. We'll be back Monday. Until then, I am Pat Dooley. Enjoy this weekend. It's opening weekend. I know FSU played last week. This is opening weekend. I'm fired up about it. I hope you are too, and I think you all are. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, I am Pat Dooley. I'm deep way back, and I am out of here.